Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to take you guys through another furniture upcycle video today. I may or may not be a little bit obsessed with Facebook Marketplace at the moment. I've always been a Gumtree kind of gal, but something about Facebook Marketplace, you just seem to be able to pick up so many more like bargains from there. I've seen some incredible stuff on there. I actually saw these chest of drawers. I fell in love with them. They're this really nice 60s style, kind of like mid-century modern-esque drawers. They have a very slight Scandi vibe to them, or they will do anyway. And yeah, I just absolutely fell in love with the shape of these. I don't actually need anything like this in my house, but I just couldn't pass this up because these drawers were free. They were just giving them away for free. The people were moving house. They just wanted to get rid of them really quickly. So they were about 20 minutes up the road from us. We went, picked them up. They aren't in great condition, I will be honest about that. They're like a wood veneer. A lot of the veneer is chipping off. One of the drawers was kind of, the runners for the drawers was broken. So they do need a lot of TLC, a really good clear out as well, because they're a little bit dusty and old. I honestly can't believe I managed to pick this up for free. I know they're in bad condition, but I just still think they're so cool and unique, and I think they're gonna look so good in the end. I did also jump onto Instagram to ask your guys your opinion as well, whether I should go light, dark, do a pop of color, and see what you guys thought. It was very mixed reviews, but I'm honestly surprised how many people said that I should paint it either sage green or baby pink. Were probably two of the most popular colors that came out of that. So yeah, you have to stay tuned to see how these turned out. So first step was to give these drawers a really good clean. I used my Dial concentrated sugar soap. I put it in with a little bit of warm water, diluted it, and gave the drawers a really good wipe down, which was really important because they were so dusty and dirty. But it's also important to get any kind of old dirt and grease off so that your paint can adhere to the wood a lot better. Next step was to go in and fill all of the cracks and blemishes in the wood. I used my Dial brown wood filler. I've had a really good experience with this. I think it's great and it's also super affordable. I took off any kind of loose bits of laminate and just filled it in. I left that wood filler to dry for a few hours. This is what it was looking like once it was all dry. One of my tips is actually to overfill, because it's easier just to kind of sand it back than it is to add layer after layer after layer. I also added some to the top where there were some really deep marks in the top of the dresser. I then went about sanding all of the filler back. I just used a light grit sandpaper. I gave the whole drawers a bit of a sand down just to make sure they were nice and smooth and ready to be painted. Once that was done, I gave it a wipe down with a lint-free cloth. I removed all of the drawers ready to paint, and I also removed the feet of the dresser as well. So my intention was to actually use my spray gun to spray this piece. So I made sure that I protected our grass because that is Steve's pride and joy. I just propped this up on a couple of old paint cans to make sure that I was able to kind of paint that bottom half of it. So this is the paint that I was going to use. It's the Wood and Metal paint by Valspar. It was a custom colour that I picked up in clearance for £5. I actually featured this in another video, and I've never successfully actually used this paint sprayer on a piece of furniture. So I just put in the paint with half a cup of water. I tried to do the viscosity test, thought it was fine. It wasn't, added another half a cup of water, still wasn't okay, added another half a cup. And it just sprays really, really blotchy. So I reverted to painting it with a roller. So if anyone has any tips on how to actually water down the paint to go in a paint sprayer, please let me know, because I have struggled with it so many times. I also made sure just to tape up these edge bits of the drawers so that we got a nice clean line, because you would see that as you open the drawers. I am going to interrupt this DIY session to let you know that I massively messed up. So obviously I said that I asked you guys what colour to paint it, but I also remember that I had some leftover paint. If you guys saw the bedside table upcycle that I did recently for my sister, then you would have seen that I had this really nice kind of stone sandy colour left over. But I was literally about to pop out to B&Q to get some furniture paint, and the usual furniture paint I use has a primer in it. I had a massive brain fart and forgot that this leftover paint that I had did not have a primer in it. And I know I am quite lazy, but when it comes to priming painting old wood pieces like this, you do need to prime it, because especially with a light colour, you're going to get bleed through, and that is exactly what I got. I started painting it, realised I messed up, and then was like, what do I do? So I just painted the whole thing and wait to see how it turned out. The result was not good, so I had to pivot and get something else. It's probably actually for the best, because I don't think I liked that colour on these drawers anyway. I just don't think it looked quite right. So you guys won in the end. I decided to paint it green. Okay, so here is my new paint. This is from Good Home, it's their furniture paint. It's self-priming, which is great. I've used it before. Never used this shade before. It's Tyrone, which is like a really nice kind of bluey, sagey green colour. I absolutely love this paint. I've used it so many times before in white and black. Never ever used any of the kind of fun colours though. But I think the quality of the paint is really, really good. It's only like £10 for a tin, so it's super affordable as well. You don't have to prime it, it's self-priming, so you kind of remove a stage there as well. I went ahead putting it on with a brush just to give it a try and see if I liked brushing it on. I will say that I didn't think it was like the best result. It's really difficult to not get any paint marks with the paintbrush. I also made sure I gave the fronts of the drawers a good coat as well, making sure that I was getting those edges in. Like I said, I wanted a kind of clean line on the side. Okay, so here is my new paint. This is from Good Home, it's their furniture paint. It's self-priming, which is great. I've used it before. Never used any of the kind of fun colours though. You don't have to prime it, it's self-priming, so you kind of remove a stage there as well. I will say that I didn't think it was like the best result. It's really difficult to not get any paint marks with the paintbrush. I also made sure I gave the fronts of the drawers a good coat as well, making sure that I was getting those edges in. Like I said, I wanted a kind of clean line on the side. So this was after one coat, and honestly this paint covers so well. I left it for a few hours to dry. I went in with a really light sanding just to smooth it out again, and then I gave it a second coat of paint. Overall, I did 3 coats of paint. For the third coat, I actually went in with a foam roller, and to be honest, I prefer using foam roller so much more than a paintbrush, so I'll make sure I do that next time. This is the super satisfying bit, peeling off all the masking tape. It actually left a really clean line, which I was impressed by because it wasn't very good masking tape. So whilst the chest of drawers was drying, I wanted to tackle these furniture legs. They have a varnish on them. They're quite a kind of orange yellowy tone. So I started by sanding off all of that kind of top coat of varnish and getting them back to their natural wood. You can kind of see the difference here. It's so much lighter, more of a blonde wood. Once I was done sanding, I wiped them all down with a lint-free cloth. When these were on the dresser, I actually noticed it was really wobbly, and it's because all of them have these kind of metal pins in, apart from one. So I decided to remove all of the pins from the bottom of the legs, so they would all be equal heights, but also I thought that the metal was not great and it would potentially scratch floors, so I thought it was just better just to have bare wood. Once that was all done, I went in with my 𝘭𝘪𝘯𝘬𝘮 wood dye. I've used this before in a couple of different shades and I absolutely love it. This one is white ash and I used it on my dining table and it just helps kind of knock back that yellowy tone. So this is the next day and I was ready to kind of start putting the drawers back together. I noticed that one of the drawer runners had actually fallen off from inside the drawer, so I just went about attaching that back again. I just flipped them on their sides and went in with some Unibond No More Nails wood adhesive. This is actually really strong and it dries really quickly, so I just put a strip of that along the wooden bit and then just literally placed it where it was previously. Luckily there was kind of a mark on the inside of the drawer, so it was really easy to see where it was meant to go. My initial plan was to use my trusty nail gun to be able to nail it in for a bit of extra support. However, my nail gun doesn't take nails which are long enough to go through, so I went old school with this and just hammered in a couple of little nails just to hold it in place. Time to attach my new light wash furniture feet. This is probably the easiest step because they simply just screw in. Last step is just adding the drawers and then I will show you guys what it's looking like. Right guys, so the drawers are all done, and before I show you the finished result, I wanted to jump back and show you guys what they looked like before. overall, I am so happy with the results. Turns out you guys were right, the sage green was the way to go. Actually, it's really interesting. Let me know what color you think they are, whether you think they're green or blue. Sometimes I think they're green and sometimes I think they're blue. It's very confusing to me. Let me know what you guys think, but I absolutely love the color, especially with the lighter wood legs. I just think it gives it much more of a kind of Scandi vibe. I'm not actually going to be keeping these. That is partly why I was willing to be so adventurous with the color. You guys know that in my house I've got like a lot of white, black, greys, neutrals, so it was fun to be able to do something a bit different that was out of my comfort zone. But I am actually going to be selling these on, or I'm going to see if any sort of like friend or family members want them. But yeah, really happy with the way they turned out. Definitely worth the effort. I only spent maybe a few hours on them, not long at all. I just kind of did them in my spare time. But yeah, totally worth it. So if you guys are thinking about adding a pop of colour to your space, or if you've got a chest of drawers that needs a little bit of a facelift, then hopefully this video has given you a little bit of inspiration. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an upcoming video. And until next time, I will see you guys later.